Welcome to Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles. This is a broadcast sharing information with our community. Today we have a special guest on our show, the Executive Director for Hope of Glory, Miss Manny. Miss Manny, welcome to the broadcast.
Good morning, Pastor Coles. How are you?
I am doing good. So glad to have you here on the show to
Yes.
talk about all the things that you do. I know you have a list of stuff that Hope of Glory is doing. Could you first give us, what is the mission statement of Hope of Glory?
Yes, Hope of Glory really seeks to share the gospel of Jesus Christ through relieving the burden of a family, whether it be a financial or food or basic need, and then empowering them towards lasting change. I think you and I have a common spirit in that, but we really want families to come through our doors, be loved by Christ and Christ through us, and then find ways to help equip them really to get back on their feet. A lot of times people come in and they're broken in more ways than one. So we just want to spend time with them and empower them to get back self-sufficient.
Well, I know that you've been there, and there's a lot of stuff that you're doing. You got a lot of programs. First, I'm going to say thank you on the air because when Matthew came down, Miss Manny, y'all came in there like firefighters and helping us with the hygiene kits. And I want to first say thank you. For folks that didn't know that Hope of Glory played a big part in Matthew, which is going to be almost a year now.
Wow.
You understand? And helping us with the hygiene kits and things like that.
Right.
So I do want to tell you personally, thank you for your work and helping us with that. But I know you have a lot of programs, and we want to get it all in so people know what Hope of Glory and what they're doing and how they're moving with time. Sometimes people don't like changes, but you know how that is. We won't go there.
We won't go there. Yeah, definitely. We have been in a model shift for the probably past 2 years, and really went from a emergency services approach to an empowerment program approach. And so with that change came some concerns, but came a lot of celebration on behalf of the community, those who do support us, and also those who we're serving. They're seeing beyond their situation. So it has been a fun adventure, and within that, we really have taken time to modify what we were doing and to improve it so that, first of all, God is glorified, second of all, the family is built up, and they are not enabled in a cycle of dependency. So we really have a couple of approaches that we use. The first one is our thrift store, which is almost 4 years old, which, again, time is flying. Our thrift store is obviously a daily fundraiser for the ministry operations, but the heart of the thrift store is to really offer families a low-cost option to what they would need. Some thrifters love to come in and get their little ins and outs, but really families who just want to buy what they need at a low cost and not go broke trying to get it. That's the heart of our thrift store. And within that little community called the Community Outlet, we have our regulars come in, and now we have a family established there. So it's not just your typical thrift store, and that's why we called it the Community Outlet. It's a place where you can get outlet prices and have a community of friends and family. So that's one of our main pillars. The second pillar really is what we would call a community food co-op program. And again, this is part of the model shift, moving from just serving a meal or two to really getting the family back on their feet. And so the concept is really simple. We actually adapted it from a place in Portland, Oregon, who has been doing it for about 15 to 20 years. Wow. And very thankful to them for letting us kind of dive in and see what they do and then bring it back to Pitt County. And the model is taking food and providing it at a low cost, and then because they're not spending money at the grocery store as much, they're able to take that saved money and put it towards their hardship, whether it be a medical debt, catching up on a bill. It may be something like, hey, we've got caught up on our debt, but we need savings accounts for A, B, and C issues, maybe trying to get their kids into college, maybe saving for a car. So it's families who are really doing all that they can to try to make it, and they just need that burden relieved for a time, and then they can take that saved money and put it towards their need. That has it's a very simple formula. I mean, you think $200 that you're saving, you put it towards your medical debt, $1,000, that takes a few months, right? And it could really relieve a burden that they've been carrying for so long. And so families go through an application process. We do a financial assessment with them.
Wow.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that, number one, they understand their money, and number two, we can help them see where their money is going rather than just survival mode. And so we take time to actually do that with them. And for some of our families, that may be the first time they've ever really thought about it. So that's step number one. They will be approved based on their income and expenses and kind of the need. Every family is different, so it's hard to put a baseline number or a cap or a ceiling on their income, so to speak. So we evaluate them case by case. And then we put them in the program. They're able to shop twice a month, so they get plenty of groceries in our food pantry. They are partnered with a mentor, and so, yeah, that's really been kind of the crux of the program. They'll have a mentor to really sit down with them and kind of lay it out on the table and get them to start thinking about how to steward their money well. All of our principles are obviously bound on Scripture, and, what the Bible teaches really works. And so we want people to see that God's wisdom and teaching is for our good and for the betterment of our family. It's not just to gain whatever we want, it's to manage and steward what He has given us for His glory. And so we will walk them through that process with a mentor, and they'll kind of be on their own. The relationship is established. The trust is established. I mean, when you're talking about money,
Come on now.
getting kind of messy, right? And then from that point, they are asked to also buy into the program with their volunteer time. So they volunteer once a month. It can be in the pantry or in the store. And then they also have to attend nutrition and financial classes, which are another way to equip them cognitively and habitually. I think a lot of times people are just in habits, and it's just all that they know. It's maybe all that they've seen or all that they are used to. And so they just need a new perspective.
Right. Let me just pause you for
Yeah,
a minute. You
yeah,
said a
definitely.
whole lot, and
I
I
know,
know
sorry.
that. No, it's good stuff. I
Right.
want to share
Right.
because when I'm listening to you, you really empower them to be better than what they're doing. And, I need to know the whole program because I believe that we need to be copying what you're doing and sharing with others, because a lot of times we give out food and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Then it went from one place to another
Another,
place to another place. We're not really finding out what is the problem.
Right.
We're not helping the problem
Right.
for a lot of us. We're actually causing the
that
problem
more,
and allowing
right.
it to go from generation to generation.
Right.
And when I'm just listening to you, and I need to know a lot more about
Yeah.
that program, and I'm looking at, we need have to put that into the ministry that we're working with, that just giving them food is not good, Ms. Manning.
No, it's not.
And, even with the GHA, the Housing Authority, they even working with, Mr. Williams is working with trying to get them into finance. Like,
Okay,
why
good.
they rent all, why
Right,
is it
right.
there?
Ask the hard questions, right? Or
Yeah.
the obvious questions, right?
And I'm just listening to that, I'm so glad I have you on the broadcast to speak about that, because you just put a spark in my head just now.
Right.
I need to regroup.
Right.
And what I'm doing to make sure that we help them, because that's what happened at the Crossroad. The shelter, they were going in, going out, and that's something that took place when they started the We Care program.
Okay, and
But now they go into a program, pick community colleges in there,
Yeah.
and they walking them through the process.
Right.
But it really needs, if you're getting food, are we just giving you food
Right.
and not really caring for you?
Right.
Make me think right now.
It is good. It's good. And there's a tension. Scripturally, Jesus teaches us to, when I'm hungry, I need food. When I'm thirsty, I need drink. And how do we do that as believers, but also, and recognize those situations, because the Holy Spirit is very clear, and we should be faithful when that comes in a Hurricane Matthew situation or a crisis. But when it comes to discipling people, He also told us to go and make disciples of all nations.
Yes.
And baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them what I have taught you. And I think we miss that. We miss that. He spent 3 years with them. And then a couple of days after he was resurrected. He spent time teaching them. And how did he teach them? He taught them through parables and
Yes.
real life stuff. And so, and they were able to begin to say, you cause the growth. We do the plowing, So like they were able to slowly learn who he was, and that was his purpose of his parables, to show him himself. And so we, as a ministry and as a team and as a community, have to take time to sit with a family and listen, ask the right questions, and even convince them, and I say this honestly, even convince them that they need the help that we're trying to give them, because they don't really even recognize that there's issues, that there's generational poverty, that there's a life outside of what they've seen. And it's all cultures. It is not just a black or white or Hispanic. It's all of them. And so ultimately we know that deep down, the sin that's in our life and those deep issues need to be presented and cured, in essence. And so now you have situations where people have just really had bad luck with everything. So, but I think a lot of times people make their own holes, and so we have those hard conversations, and we really want to love people that way, because that's what God does with us. He looks at us when we're dead in our sin and our trespasses, following whatever we wanted to do, and He says, I'm going to make you alive with me. And He resurrects us. And so, and then for the rest of our lives, I mean, how young are you? You don't have to say. For the rest of our lives, we're always being dealt with and renewed, and He's always helping us see the sin that's still there that He wants to uproot. So we have those hard conversations with families, but we also give them the practical steps to do differently. So.
And it's like you're working with them to better themselves, to see more. Not if we're not helping them achieve what they need to achieve, then we're disabling them.
Pretty much. That's
a
great word, disabling.
And it's amazing that we can thinking that we're helping, but we're really not.
Right.
It's amazing. I call my daughter's in Georgia right now.
Okay.
Deborah and I got a break, and so I said my mom's 79 years old. So she said I made the bed for the girl. I said, Mom, what do you mean you're making the bed for the girl? Did you know that Debbie taught them a long time ago how to make their beds?
Right.
I said, one do the dishes, one dry.
Right.
They also bring the clothes down from the laundry. They also clean up the bathroom. I said, Mom, and you know what? My mom said, you're disabling them what they've been taught or what they already been learned.
Right.
And a lot of times people been already taught what to do right.
But
no one really pushing back into it. But people would sit back and relax and allow you to do everything if you allow them, even children.
Right.
So I said, make that bed up and do that, Mom. They know the rules in this house.
Right.
Here. Everybody, you eat before you eat on that table, you got to work in this house as well. As the Bible says, man doesn't work, he doesn't eat.
Right.
But
it's
so good to hear the things that Hope of Glory is doing. Those are the programs you have with them volunteering, because people need to volunteer, to see what's going on, to be a part of it. You have the nutrition training that is happening, because
and the financial training.
And the finances really
right.
It's amazing. A lot of people don't know how to manage their money. I'm shocked sometimes. I say, am I sitting in Yabba-Do Tommy or Bedrocks with Fred Flintstone sometimes?
Right.
I mean, people don't know how to manage money.
Right.
That is, that's a whole topic.
It is.
I mean, when Dave Ramsey talk about certain things, it's like, but they don't know how to manage their money. They spend money and then they broke.
Right.
And
wonder why. And
they can't say thank God it's Friday, because they already spent the money before Friday came.
Right.
Thank God because it should be Friday, because we love Friday. We love every day God gave us.
Right.
But I want to ask a question on.
Okay.
You have a fundraiser that's coming up in the month of October, and I have to admit, I always join it, but I don't run. I do the walking part.
Good. Hey, we love walkers.
Yeah, I do the walking part.
That's right.
But could you explain that?
Yeah, definitely.
And I love you changed the location, which is awesome.
Yes, needed to. Really needed to.
I mean, you feel like you in this. Well, again, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm talking for you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Well, historically, our race has been over in Lindale, and Moe's was a wonderful sponsor for us. And we got to the place where, a neighborhood run is great and pretty, but we wanted to really get back into our local community and the uptown area, which is flourishing and growing.
Yes.
And they're really trying to do a lot to get the area back alive. And so we just wanted to play a small role in that. This will be our 11th year of our 5K fundraiser, and I've only been part of 4 years of it, so it's a great foundation to build on and be a part of. We also chose to change the route, of course, starting down by the Scullery and ending up by UBE. And then we also added in what we call a cross-training component for fitness folks who are out there. Cross-training is kind of a multi-exercise way to work out. And so within the route now, which is 3.1 miles, there are stations where you do, for example, you get to station 1 and you do 40 push-ups and 50 squats or something to that nature to get them really working out. It's painful, to be honest. But we have CrossFit Greenville, who is another local CrossFit gym. They have partnered with us for the 3rd year now, and they run those stations. So, again, it's just a way to really say, hey, we are a community together. Let's do this together, and let's flourish together. And that is slated to take place in October on the 14th, which is, I believe, the 2nd Saturday. There's no home football game. We always plan around that because folks are crazy about some ECU football.
Yes.
I can say that. I can support that because I used to go there and play. But so we basically plan to start about 8 o'clock. And usually we go until obviously the last walker finishes. And then this year, we're trying to, again, highlight local. And so we're offering an opportunity for a vendor fair. And that means, hey, as a local business or someone, maybe even a nonprofit that just wants to spread their name out a little bit more, we have vendor spots. So you just get a 8x10, 8x12 spot. And you're able to kind of showcase your business in a way that's more of promotional, no cash exchange, no purchasing or anything like that, but getting people to know where you are, and then they can come visit later. So we're going to try to highlight some of the downtown businesses and have a little place where racers can hang out when we're done. And the benefits of the race, obviously it supports a great cause. We're trying to continue. The race bags that the runners get include, if I had to guess, probably over $50 of coupons. Wow. It's pretty. You get your money back for sure. And then right, and then you get a nice moisture wicking T-shirt. So they get that first of all, and then people who win their age group get a really good prizes because again, local people are supporting our prizes as well. And so it's a fun day. It's always really, really pretty and perfect running weather, minus last year because we got canceled because of the hurricane. And then we went 2 or 3 weekends later, and it was freezing. But you know what? It's always beautiful because it's God's day.
Amen.
So the easiest way to find out more about that is visit our Facebook page or go on our website. Our website is very updated, and it's hope-of-glory.org. You can sign up. We do need sponsors. I know we mentioned that earlier. This is our fundraiser, so we're trying to raise funds. And that's the key, right? And save on expenses to put it on. So the funds raised really come through sponsorships. And so there's 4 different levels, and it starts at 1,000 and it goes down to 100. We are open to all levels because we, again, are trying to raise money for the year. And so if you're interested in, as a business or as an individual to sponsor, you can also contact me via the website or via just the ministry or come by and just ask for me, and I'll get you some more information. So, again, it's a one hit for the year. We try not to do too many things to keep people, just one big hit to kind of expand our donor base a little bit. So
could you share just the website again?
Yeah, definitely.
People can't catch it sometimes.
Yeah, it's an
and the telephone
one.
number.
Right.
I get the number first.
Right.
That's too much to.
Okay.
But we can give them both the telephone number and the website.
The ministry telephone number is 252-321-6857. And my extension is 201. It's the first one you'll hear. The website is www.hope, H-O-P-E, and then a hyphen of O-F, and then a hyphen glory.org. So, yeah.
Now, I have a couple more questions here. Do y'all guys accept donations?
Mm-hmm. We thrive on donations. So the thrift store is actually furnished by all donations from the community. So that, again, when you think about that concept of the community supporting the community, we just kind of are the revolving door to receive the donations from the community. And then we call it process them and then get them back out on the floor. And so we receive donations Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then Saturdays we're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so we also have another component where we were granted money to get a box truck a couple years ago. And you've probably seen it riding around town. It's a pretty blue. So we can pick up based on, schedule on a time during the week. And most of our pickups need to be larger furniture items and household goods. Clothing, we ask that you would bring it in just because it costs money to run that truck. And
that's right.
we're trying to schedule them to get the larger items that people just can't bring by. So, and our location is probably super important.
Yes, ma'am.
We are located at 103 East Arlington Boulevard. It's between Arlington and Evans intersection, and when you get close, it'll jump out at you. You won't be able to miss it. We call it, the city on the hill can't be hidden.
that.
So yeah, it's a big building there, and again, you just would drive around the backside where the loading dock is and drop off your stuff.
Wow.
So, yep.
For those looking at this broadcast, as at Hope of Glory, they have a lot of programs there. As she mentioned, the theft shops they have, nutrition training. But I want to also talk a little bit about the donation. If if you have some good donations, and I'm saying this so you can hear, if there's something that is garbage, put it in the garbage.
Amen.
And we don't want to bring a box truck, the couch is all ripped up and the cat that took care of it and the dog and whatever it may be and bed bugs and all that other stuff. I'm not being mean, but just take it and trash it. If you have something that you feel that you want to donate and you want to be something good that you will use, then and they're not going to pick up your clothes. So if you're going to clean out your closet because winter's coming in and you want to give it those summer clothes, and just drop the clothes off. They have a place where you could drop it off during the weekday. But if you got nice furniture, things to be given to the community, you may be moving, and there may be someone that maybe went on home with the Lord, and they got some furniture, because we had a few of those that had some nice furnitures, and we would call Hope of Glory. There's some nice stuff that they could pick up. Again, take it. But please contact Ms. Manny Stewart there. She's the executive director over there. And that number is 321, last full part.
321-6857.
Extension
201.
And now let me ask this question. A lot of times people say, well, I don't have no furniture to deliver. I see what you're doing. I see your heart. I see this helping the people. And again, I let them know that Hope of Glory been around for a good amount of time around the community, helping. When we had that problem, Matthew, I called Manny. Manny was on the line. We still have vouchers. He gave us vouchers to get people hygiene kits and whatever we can help them with. And it's, when it was an issue, and that's the whole key with the community, when it's an issue, how all of us came together.
Right.
And now we have a long-term recovery group, which have came out of that.
Yes.
And is me moving forward. So I thank all of our volunteers as well who play that. But one of the things sometimes is, Manny, and I hope that people listening to this as they listen to it, do you accept monetary donations? Because sometimes I may not have no furniture, but I want to give, time. You tithe first to God, and your offerings could be giving, and be sure you give it to God first.
Right.
And every day I don't get in trouble.
Right.
Amen. But do you accept monetary donations?
Yes, we do. We have people who support us monthly. That's awesome, and it's amounts that whatever the Lord had laid on their heart. Sometimes we'll have people pop in just with a random check or two. Some people do small fundraisers within their own little community group. They'll collect different amounts of money. And then we have businesses, for example, Great Harvest Bread Company. They did kind of a Christmas in July and took tips from the community as they took out. So that was, another couple $100. Yeah. So easy ways to give, include those monetary donations. And we, one thing that I like to share with people is, for example, our co-op. It costs the ministry right now $100 a month per family to implement this co-op, and which is a significant amount. But when you can look at it as saying, hey, if I invest $100 a month, I'm investing in a family. I'm investing in lasting change. And you may not know where your money's going, or it's just like in the pot. Well, we have ways that it is distributed and put into these programs. And so that's one thing I've been sharing recently is when you invest with us, whether it be one time or monthly, you're investing in family and investing in change. And, obviously there are ministry operations expenses that we have on a monthly basis, but our thrift store also is a part of covering that. And so if you have a heart to give specifically towards families or towards a program, please just contact me. We can talk about it and then kind of get you familiar with what we do. And we have seasonal outreaches. So we have Thanksgiving, Christmas time. If you want to just pour into that specifically, there's another opportunity as well. So we will appreciate anything that the Lord puts on your heart, for sure.
Now, some people like myself, I got to admit, I'm a little lazy in writing the check. Do you accept donation through the website? Is there a way that I can pay,
That's a good, very good question. Yeah.
Because I'm lazy.
That's okay. No, and that's kind of the world we live in too. And so, yes, our website is wired to pay through PayPal. So it's a safe, secure place. There is a raise fundraising page that you would fill out as a sponsor, or you could just go right into our main donation page and click a few buttons, put your name in, and it'll go right through PayPal. So it's secure.
Awesome. So, as you just mentioned, if they're listening to make a donation, maybe they want to adopt a family.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
a great
year.
concept.
I mean,
Yep.
if you want to adopt a family for $100 a month, $1,200 a month,
Yep.
and also it's a tax write-off.
Yes, it is a tax
I
donation.
mean, you can
Yeah.
write it off on your taxes.
Right.
I mean, they get another benefit out of that.
Right.
We got about a minute left,
Okay.
and I know that I want to say this. I want you to close us out with you have a Christmas program.
Yes, sir.
And you got about 30 seconds
do.
to give
I'm
to
ready. Oh,
if you
yeah.
let them know about your Christmas program that you have and what you're doing, and then we'll go ahead and close out the show. But you also got to give us your telephone number again and your
Again, I
website.
can do that.
Less
Okay.
than 30 seconds.
All right. Empower a Family Christmas Store really seeks, again, to relieve the burden of a family during Christmas time. We offer items that are donated, Christmas items, at a low cost, so about 25% of the retail. Your family is qualified, comes shops, and then they basically receive their Christmas presents for their children. They're wrapped and given a Bible and a devotion, and they're on their way. And so we wanted to still be a part of paying for their Christmas. Ministry number,
Yes.
252-321-6857, extension 201.
Miss Manning, we thank you for being on the broadcast.
Yeah.
As you're listening to this broadcast, please visit us on our website, which is cun2015.org. I want to let you know Hope of Glory has been in this community for way over about 11 years. We want to thank Manny and Hope of Glory for being on this broadcast, sharing the information with our community. If you can make a donation, if you could adopt a family for $100, the key thing, you're really investing in a family, which they're going to help them, walk through them, the things they need, mentor to them, and that means a lot. I think that it'd be $100 a month. Well, I mean, you spend more on that for a meal if you want to look at it. But we want to thank you for being on this broadcast. Again, you can visit us on www.cun2015. God bless.